Alright folks, I got a Buick here. It needs a tune-up. It looks like it probably has the original ignition pack coils on it. Now, a lot of times they say to replace these as part of the tune-up. I don't. Because these are expensive. It's like $230 for the module for a genuine GM part. And these coil packs are like $47 a piece. So you can buy the cheap Chinesium ones, but they don't have the overload protection and they go bad quite often. Although I've seen plenty of the genuine ones go bad too. But what I will do is test it and make sure they all have good spark. And so I got my test light hooked to a ground there. I replaced this alternator on it yesterday. So now I'm going to start it up and I'm just going to hold my test light down here and pull each of these off and make sure it has a good spark, at least a ½ inch. And I'll do that for each coil pack. I don't need to do each individual wire. This has a waste spark system, so it's sparking both wires off of that one coil pack, both connections. So one spark and the other one is. And then we'll have to pull this one and check it. And then we'll have to pull this one. Put one of these down here, check it. And so, key is to do it and not get shocked. You shouldn't get shocked as long as your test light has a good ground. And I can see that I do. I'm on the positive there. So let me start it up and we'll test this out and make sure they're all throwing a good enough spark. If not, I have used one so I can replace one of them. If they have a weak spark, you want to get them replaced before they blow the ignition control module. So, the ignition control module is the plate that lives under these coil packs. So, let me start it up here. That's throwing a good long spark. A good long spark. A good long spark. So those coil packs are good. Let me shut it off. Alright, so now we just have to replace the plugs and the wires. I got this wire set, Federal wire sets. I've used these all the time from Rock Auto. They're really good wire sets. And I didn't realize I ordered the gold ones, but they're AC Delco. They were listed as OEM for this car. Rapid fire spark plugs, but they usually come in a blue package, so I don't know why those came in gold, but they are genuine Delco plugs. These wires have been replaced at some time, I believe, but they have numbers on them. No, they're saying AC Delco. I think these are the original wires, which probably means it's the original plugs at 280 some thousand miles. So we'll go ahead and pull these off. These coil packs are numbered. A lot of times when you have aftermarket coil packs, they're not numbered. So you can look and say, like, here's number 1 and number 2 is right here. So it must go 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 will be up here. Yep, 3 is this one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now that we know that, we can just go ahead and pull all these wires off. Which I already know the firing order on these, but I just like to look and make sure when I'm going through something. So we'll pull all those wires back. Go ahead and unhook our test light. And now these have a little thing right here that these other 2 wires run off of. And they have a metal thing on the old wires that you have to move over to the new wires. If they'll come off. They are on there. You just kind of twist them and hopefully they'll kind of break loose and they'll come off. Woo! So they have this metal thing that insulates them. You'll have to move that to your new plug wire. And these do feel pretty dry. They've lived a good long hard life. So let me get a plate to put my metal things in. And the front ones are the easy one. The back ones are the hard ones. You got to reach way down in there to get to them. But they can be gotten. This is not as bad as like a 3.5 and a Buick Rendezvous, trust me. Those are really bad. And like I said, he wasn't having any misfire problems. He just wants to get a tune-up. And that's really all your tune-ups these days consist of. Is that oil dipstick was not all the way in there. I pushed her down. She looks a little low on oil. So that might be why it was tapping. I'll get this up. Pull this wire out. And then we'll get these other ones pulled off. Be interesting to see what these plugs look like. And I actually, for my Lucerne, I got a set of the AutoZone plug wires. I bought them. One of them was leaking sparks, so I took them back, got another set. And then 3 months later, another one started leaking sparks, so I had to put a used plug wire on there. Just, they're junk, but I've had really good luck with these Federals from Rock Auto. Oh, come on. Woo! Heck. Let me get a pair of pliers. Sometimes that helps. Well, that ripped off. It ripped frickin' insulator in here. Sometimes these can be a pain. Sometimes you have to bend this metal shield, even though you really don't want to. But that's what it takes to get them out. There. Whew. Finally came out. Alright, we'll get a screwdriver. Poke this plug out. Alright. Now we'll go ahead and take our spark plugs out and we'll see what those look like. Well, it wasn't in there very tight. It was pretty loose. I mean, they're not supposed to go crazy tight, but it probably should have been a little tighter than that. Let's see. Maybe the plugs have been replaced and the wires haven't. She's wore down pretty good. that's an AC Delco or not. Let me clean it off. That is an auto light spark plug. That is not what GMs take. So the plugs have been replaced in here with some cheap spark plugs. And you can tell it's really worn down. It's got a wide gap on it. So I believe these are single platinums, I believe, that I'm putting in here, which is what it calls for from the factory. Rapid fire, it says. That's all it says, and it's made in the USA. And now I will double check the gap on those new plugs too. Even though they come pre-gapped, I still find that you're better off just to check them and make sure they're in spec, because sometimes they get dropped or whatever. That one's pretty worn out too. It wouldn't have been long at this rate before you would have had some coil pack problems. Plus the coil packs draw too much current when they have to jump a wider gap. But whoever put those in there needs to learn how to tighten a spark plug. They're not supposed to be overly tightened, but they're supposed to be tighter than they were. That one's not quite as worn out, but it's pretty worn out. Okay. So let me pull one of these new plugs out of the box. Yeah, and they did not come with the cardboard tube around them. So a lot of times you get them, they come with a cardboard tube. These did not. So we're definitely going to check, because if they get dropped and shipped, they can bang into stuff and that gap can go off. So let me look up the gap specs on this. If it's not on the label, that's a refrigerant. Nope, they don't have a label on this one, so let me look it up and see what its gap spec is supposed to be, and then we'll check it. Alright, so our three shortest wires are going to go here on the front. We'll just get these straightened out. That's a nice long one. That'll go towards the back. That's also a nice long one towards the back. Also a long one goes towards the back. And that one, and our shortest one will go here on number 1. So we'll plug that in. I'm going to get my dielectric gel out. I'm going to have to get some more dielectric gel before too long. I'm sure you can see it. Okay, so now we're just going to take, we're going to pull a little dielectric gel in the end of this. Put her down on here, move her around, unplug her, plug her back in, and out of the way. Okay, now we're just going to take and put a little dielectric gel on here. Now we're going to put one of our metal things on, like so. Going to slide this back down onto the plug and plug it in there. So now our next longest one is this one. And we'll worry about getting it routed back in that plastic thing after we get all of them on. I'm running out of the electric now. Put that on. Put this up. We'll put some in here. And this is 1, 2, 3. So this is number 3. Go right up here. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be number 5. Okay, I'll put a metal part on it. We'll get it back in here. Ready? There it goes. All right. Now these 2 wires have to route through our plastic thing right here. 4, 5. This is number 5. Okay. And then we'll have to route this one. Go up under that one. See what's along the bottom.
Lighten up, take me on your magic river. Tell me all your dreams align. Sign me up and tell me about the people that you know who are trying to feel alive. Share my pillow and rain, rain, go away. I wanna hear about everything you're ever thinking. You know that I can take the truth. Call me out.
This is the same thing I do if I break one. I get my big nylon straps out. Put one on that wire. I put one on this wire. Put one on this wire. Now this wire is going to go to this wire. Now you can pull those two tight. pull this one tight. Now you want to just get another one through here. And this is going to go through here, like so. I'll cut all those. And that holds them together, but keeps them spaced apart so they won't rub on each other, hopefully. Too bad. And we should be all set now to put our engine cover back on. Just start her up and see if she runs. She runs good. Now I'm going to check the oil in her because I think the oil was a little bit low. She needs a new dipstick. This one's getting a little bit messed up. Oh yeah, she's definitely low. She's about a quart low. Needs just a little more. All right. All right, she's low on coolant. And he's saying that he saw a drip. Not super low. I mean, it's not all the way empty, but it's pretty low. He's saying that he saw a coolant drip. This thing's had radiator hose leaking. I put a water pump on it. Still dripping some coolant somewhere. But that's a job for tomorrow night. I'm going to go in, get some rest, and get ready to go to work tomorrow. And I'll come back and I'll get this pressure tested. So I've got the alternator and the tune-up done. Now I just got to wait and do the coolant leak, and then I have to check his brakes and see which brakes are worn and order his brake parts as well. And then I'll do that on a different weekend or a different day when the brake parts come in. Put that back on, put this back over here. These over here. All right, we're done for tonight. We'll get this old girl working again.